Nigerian youths, they don't sweat for una, you have been sweat for. You don't understand. They don't.
Why is Nigeria's Science Ministry renovating an INEC office with 1 billion naira? A sign of deepening budget abuse. Disclaimer: this opinion is based on publicly available reports and budget analysis from civic organizations like BudgIT and media platforms such as Sahara Reporters. It is intended to foster civic awareness and public accountability, not to defame any specific individuals or institutions. In an era where national development is largely driven by transparency, strategic planning, and sectoral accountability, Nigeria's 2025 federal budget tells a different story, one marked by questionable allocations and bureaucratic overreach. The most striking example yet: the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation budgeting 1 billion naira to renovate an independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) office in Ogun State. This expenditure falls far outside the ministry's legal mandate and points to a worrying trend of systemic mismanagement. INEC is a constitutionally independent body, responsible for conducting credible elections in Nigeria. It has its own budget, statutory backing, and administrative structure. The Ministry of Science and Technology, on the other hand, exists to promote technological advancement, scientific research, and innovation policies. Nowhere in its defined functions is it empowered to fund electoral infrastructure. So, the question is simple but serious: how did we get here? What we're witnessing is not a harmless clerical error or a one-off misstep. This kind of financial misdirection is part of a larger, dangerous pattern. According to BudgIT, a civic tech watchdog, over 6.93 trillion naira worth of unrelated projects were embedded in the 2025 budget across various ministries, many without justification or alignment with national development goals. The 1 billion naira renovation is one needle in a very bloated haystack. Budgetary abuse in Nigeria is fast becoming institutionalized. Ministries are now acting as financial vehicles for pet projects and political maneuverings, often at the expense of the core responsibilities they are meant to fulfill. The Ministry of Science and Technology, which should be championing innovation and scientific research, is instead spending money on building renovations for an unrelated agency. This misallocation is not just bureaucratic sloppiness, it's a willful distortion of governance. It also begs another question: how many more off-mandate projects are being funded across ministries in this same way? The opportunity cost is massive. At a time when Nigeria is grappling with issues like brain drain, poor research funding, and dilapidated tech infrastructure, the ministry charged with fixing these problems is instead sinking 1 billion naira into brick and mortar that doesn't advance its mission. That's one less billion going to labs, innovation hubs, STEM education, or AI research. This also undermines the credibility of public institutions. Citizens are already skeptical about how their tax money is spent. Discovering that budget lines are being rerouted to serve unclear or politically motivated purposes only worsens public trust. It tells the people that institutions can no longer be relied upon to act within their legal and ethical limits. Even more troubling is how often these abuses go unchecked. The fact that this allocation made it into a final approved version of the national budget reveals how deeply compromised Nigeria's fiscal oversight mechanisms have become. From ministries to the National Assembly, this reflects a collapse of responsibility. BudgIT's findings show thousands of projects inserted across ministries without clear justification. The Ministries of Agriculture, Budget and National Planning, and Science and Technology were among the worst hit, seeing suspicious budget inflations of up to 1 trillion naira. The implication is clear: the budget is being padded with politically convenient projects that serve no real developmental purpose. These insertions divert funds from critical needs, education, healthcare, power, security, and instead empower a cycle of patronage politics. Constituency and senatorial district projects often lack follow-through or impact assessments, yet they keep showing up every year. The system rewards not performance, but political positioning. If this trend continues, Nigeria risks losing its ability to implement meaningful, long-term development strategies. It becomes nearly impossible to track whether ministries are delivering on their core mandates because the financial picture is so distorted. That's a fast road to national stagnation. To move forward, we need radical transparency. Every ministry must publish its budget in plain language. Civil society groups and the media must continue to scrutinize public finance. And most importantly, citizens must demand answers from their representatives. This is not just a matter of waste, it's a matter of willful governance failure. There must be consequences. Ministries must be barred from executing projects outside their defined mandates. Agencies that enable or overlook these transfers, whether through neglect or complicity, must be reformed. If this does not happen, we're simply budgeting for corruption, not development. In conclusion, the 1 billion naira allocated by the Ministry of Science and Technology for the renovation of an INEC office is not just fiscally irresponsible, it's emblematic of a much deeper rot in Nigeria's public finance system. If left unchallenged, this pattern will continue to rob the nation of the progress it so desperately needs. It's time to demand accountability, transparency, and a return to purpose-driven governance. If you found this opinion informative or alarming, do your part. Like, share, and comment to keep the conversation going. Tag public officials, share with civic groups, and speak up. Nigeria can only change if we demand better, loudly and persistently.